Good morning. My name is Sandy Levesque. Welcome to Think and Grow Rich Daily Hangout. This is an online group that meets every morning to read from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and to just share anything that's relevant, any way that we can support each other in unprogramming from lack consciousness. So, welcome to this episode. Just waiting for other people to hop on. We're actually not reading from the book today. We're reading from lecture notes because we just finished getting through the book for the first time on Thursday last week. So somebody kindly sent me some excellent lecture notes from Napoleon, and so we're going through those. There's about 6 different PDFs of them. You can get them in the group. I've uploaded the first one. So yesterday we looked at definiteness of purpose and getting really clear about what you want to do and why, and sort of making that the main focus of your mind and nothing else. So today it's sort of continuing on from there, and I'm just going to see where everyone is. Oh, hi Glenn.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're about 2 minutes early, I think, roughly.
Oh.
It's about 4:13 here. So I'm sure others will be joining. But yeah, we were around page 15, I think, Sandy, right?
Ah, yeah. Thank you for finding it. I was just trying to find it. Yes, we are.
I think we're up at 4:03 in the morning. Oh my goodness.
I'm not. The funny thing is, I actually feel really pumped, as American people would say. I'm not really tired.
Yeah.
I've got more energy than I did yesterday, and I slept less.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah.
So we're on. Oh, there's a plane coming over.
Good morning.
Well, usually we can't hear the plane, or I can't hear the plane on mine anyway.
Sorry?
Usually I don't hear the plane.
Oh, okay.
It's
so loud that I can't hear anything when it's coming over. So
you can't hear us.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I'm in a tunnel.
Good morning.
Hi, Tracy.
Good morning, Tracy.
Hey, I'm wide awake, just like you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Glenn, I was up till 4:30-ish, and I was tired at the end of everything, but I just forced myself to go to sleep. Otherwise, I could have probably gone straight through.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I can't read today. I think I'm nominating Glenn because my neighbor has he has in his garage or his cave a noise-making machine. I don't know what else it does, but it's very large, and they drove it into his garage yesterday, and it just I think it just shouts at the walls and wants to. It just that's all it does.
That's great. Glenn, would you be up for reading?
Sure.
Okay. So we were just reading yesterday. Oh, nature has a system of timing. Yeah. So page 15.
Page 15. Okay, I'll start the share here.
I'm just having a look where.
Hi, Jackie.
Give it a good trial. I think we might be further than that. Oh no, we weren't. Okay. Oh goodness, I can't remember the last thing that you read.
That's a good point to start anyway, right? Just to, even if we overlapped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't remember, it can't have been too mind blowing.
I think that's where it was. No.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start then.
What? Can you scroll up one page?
I think we're in. I think we're right at the bottom of page 15. Next, call your major purpose into your consciousness as often as may be practical.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember the part
I see
before.
it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll start here. Next, call your major purpose into your consciousness as often as may be practical. Eat with it, sleep with it, and take it with you wherever you go, keeping in mind the fact that your subconscious mind can thus be influenced to work for its attainment while you sleep. Your mind is a very jealous mind. It stands guard and it doesn't want anything to get by except the things that you are afraid of and the things that you are very enthusiastic about, especially the things that you're afraid of. Generally speaking, if you want to plant an idea in your subconscious mind, you have to do it with a tremendous amount of faith, tremendous amount of enthusiasm. You've got to rush the conscious mind so that it steps aside and lets you go through to the subconscious because of your enthusiasm and your faith. Repetition is a marvelous thing too. The conscious mind finally gets tired of hearing you say a thing over and over and says, all right, if you're bound to repeat that, I can't stand here and watch you forever. Go on in there and take it to the sub and see what he'll do with it, and that's the way it works. Every night, just before you go to bed, you should give your subconscious mind some sort of order for the night, what it is you want done. The healing of your body is important. The body needs repairing every day. When you lay the carcass down for sleep, turn it over to the infinite intelligence and request your subconscious mind to go to work and heal every cell in your body, every organ, and give you tomorrow morning a perfect conditioned body in which the mind may function. Don't go to bed without giving orders to your subconscious mind. Tell it what you want. Get in the habit of telling it what you want. If you keep on long enough, it'll believe you and deliver what you ask for, and therefore you better be careful about what you ask for, because if you keep asking for it, you're going to get it. I wonder if you wouldn't be surprised if you knew right now what you've been asking for back down through the years. Have you ever thought of that? Have you been asking for it? Sure you have. Everything that you have that you don't want, you've been asking for, maybe by neglect. Maybe you didn't tell the subconscious mind what you really wanted and stocked up on a lot of stuff you didn't want. It works that way. Here are some important factors in connection with your definite major purpose. First of all, it should represent your greatest purpose in life. The one single purpose which above all others you desire to achieve, and the fruits of which you are willing to leave behind you as a monument to yourself. That's what your definite major purpose should be. I'm talking about your lifelong purpose. Believe me, friends, if you don't have an overall lifelong purpose, you're just wasting the better portion of your life. The wear and tear of living is not worth the price you pay for unless you're aiming for something, unless you are going somewhere in life, unless you're doing something with this opportunity on this plane. I imagine you were sent over here to do something. I imagine you were sent over here with a mind capable of attaining your own destiny. If you don't attain that, if you don't use that mind, I imagine that your life, to a large extent, will have been wasted from the viewpoint of the one who sent you over. Take possession of your mind, aim high. Don't believe because in the past you may not have achieved much you can't achieve in the future. Don't measure your future by the past. If you do, you're sunk. A new day is coming. You're setting up a new pattern. You're in a new world. You're a new person, mentally, physically, and maybe spiritually. A new aim, a new purpose, a new realization of your own individual power, and a new realization of your own dignity as a unit of mankind. The greatest sin of mankind is the neglect to use his greatest asset. If you use that greatest asset, you'll have everything that you want, and you'll have it in abundance. Your major purpose, or some portion of it, should remain a few jumps ahead of you at all times as something to which you may forward to with hope and with anticipation. If you ever catch up with your major purpose and attain it, get another one. You will have learned by having attained your first one that you can attain a major purpose. The chances are when you select your next one, you'll make a bigger objective than you did your first one. If your objective is to acquire material riches, don't aim too high for the first year. Work out a 12-month plan within reason. Watch how easily you can attain it. Then next year, double it. The next year, double that. What's the purpose of keeping one's major purpose a few jumps ahead? Why not lay out a definite purpose that you can catch up with tomorrow? Obviously, if you do that, your definite major purpose is not going to be very extensive, is it? And you're not going to have the fun of pursuit. The fun of pursuit is a great thing. After you've found success, if you've found your objective, why then there's no fun in it, but you'll have to turn around and start after something else. Life is less interesting when one has no definite purpose to be attained other than that of merely living. The hope of future achievement in connection with a major purpose is among the greatest of man's pleasures. Sorry is the man indeed who has caught up with himself who no longer has anything to do. Napoleon has found a lot of them. They're all miserable. You've got to keep active, keep doing something, keep working, keep an objective ahead of you. One's major purpose may, and it generally does not consist of that which can be attained only by a series of day-to-day, month-to-month, and year-to-year steps, because it's something which should be so designed to consume an entire lifetime of an endeavor. It should harmonize with one's occupation, business, or profession. For each day's works should enable one to come one day near to the attainment of his major purpose in life. Napoleon said he indeed feels sorry for the individual working day in and day out in order to eat and some clothes to wear and a place to sleep. He has no aim beyond just enough to exist on. Your wife or your husband should be your first mastermind ally. Maybe you have to court him or her over, but that's all right. Courting is a wonderful experience. Go back and court the girl or man over again. Or if you're not on the right kind of terms with your business associate or your fellow worker or people you work with every day, go back and rededicate yourself to the business of striking up on a new basis. You'll be surprised at what confession on your part will do. Confession really is a marvelous thing. Most people claim they have too much pride to confess their weaknesses. It's a good thing to get weaknesses out of your system by confession. Acknowledge that you're not entirely perfect. Maybe the other fellow will say, "Tell you what, neither am I." And when you're off to then you're off to the races. Rededicate yourself to a better relationship to the people you come into contact every day, whoever they may be. What a wonderful thing that is. You can do it. You can handle it. Most of these disharmonies in human relations are due to the neglect of people. The budgeting of uncommon expenses so as to provide for the accumulation of a definite amount for old age and security, the security of loved ones and so forth, the budgeting of time so as to provide whatever income that is necessary to support one's plan for the attainment of a definite major purpose. That should be a part of your definite major purpose. Write out your platform of life and include that down under these minor purposes, the things that are related to your major purpose. The things that you're going to have to get in the step-by-step movement towards your major purpose, and a definite plan for developing harmony in all your relations, and especially these in the home, where one works, where one plays or relaxes. The human relationship plan is the most important one in connection with one's major aim, since the aim is attainable very largely through the cooperation of others. Have you ever thought of that? The things you do in life that are worthwhile have to be done through harmonious cooperation with other people. How are you going to get that harmonious cooperation if you don't cultivate people, if you don't understand them, and if you don't make allowances for their weaknesses? In your human relations, you can develop a marvelous relationship, but you can't do it by criticizing people, harping on their faults, because we all have faults. A better thing to do is to talk about a person's virtues, his good qualities. Napoleon has never seen a person so lowly that he didn't have some good qualities. If you concentrate upon these good qualities, that person will go out of his way and lean over backwards to make sure that you're not disappointed. One should not hesitate to choose a major aim which may be for the time being be out of his reach. One may always prepare himself to obtain pretty much any desired purpose in life. When Napoleon chose as his definite purpose the organizing and taking to the world of the first practical philosophy of individual achievement, it was way beyond his reach. An abundance of faith is what kept Napoleon striving and struggling on through 20 years of unproductive effort and research, in spite of the fact that the majority of the people he knew were criticizing him. He had to keep that faith alive by moving always as if he knew in advance that he was going to complete the task that Mr. Carnegie assigned to him. There were times when it looked as if Napoleon's friends and family were saying was absolutely true, and in a sense it was, that he was wasting his time. From their viewpoint, Napoleon was wasting 20 years of his time, but from the viewpoint of millions of people who will benefit by his work during those 20 years, he was not wasting his time. You can't fail unless you think you can. If you think you can fail, then you can. Our greatest demonstration of the universal application of the principle of definiteness of purpose may be seen by observing how nature applies as it follows, and there is a great string of applications but to the way nature moves with definiteness of purpose. If there's anything definite in this universe, it's the laws of nature. They don't deviate, they don't temporize, they don't subsidize. You can't go around them, you can't avoid them. However, you can learn their nature and adjust yourself to them and benefit by them. No one ever heard the law of gravitation being suspended, not even for one fraction of a second. It never has been done and never will, because with nature's setup throughout the whole universe is so definite that everything moves with precision like clockwork. If you want an example of the necessity of an individual moving with definiteness, you only have to have a smattering of understanding of the sciences to see the way that nature does things, and then you'll have that example. Isn't it a marvelous thing to know that the astronomers can sit down with a pencil and a few pieces of paper and predetermine hundreds of years in advance the exact relationship of given planets and stars, right where they'll be in relationship to one another in advance? You know they couldn't do that if there wasn't a purpose, a plan under which we were working. We won't find out what that purpose is as it relates to us as individuals. Napoleon is giving that little bit he picked up from his life experiences so that you'll learn how to adjust yourself to the laws of nature in order that you may use those laws instead of allowing yourself to be abused by your neglect in using them. One of the most horrible things to contemplate is the possible cessation of natural laws. Imagine all of the chaos, all of the stars running together. Why'd they make the H-bomb look like a firecracker if nature allowed her laws to be suspended? But she doesn't do that. She has very definite laws to go by. You'll find that if you check these 17 principles, they check perfectly with all the laws of nature. You get over to that principle of going the extra mile. You'll find that nature is profound in her application of going the extra mile. When she produces blooms on the trees, she doesn't produce just enough to fill the trees. She produces enough to take care of all of the damages, the winds, the storms. When she produces fish in the sea, she doesn't just produce enough to perpetuate the fish. She produces enough to feed the bullfrogs, the snakes, the alligators, and all the other things, and still have enough left to carry out her purpose. She has an abundance of things, over an abundance, and also she forces man to go the extra mile or else he'll perish. He would perish in one season if he didn't go the extra mile. If nature didn't compensate a man when he goes out and when he puts a grain of wheat on the ground by giving him back 500 grains to compensate him for his intelligence, we would starve to death in one season. If you do your part, nature does her part, and she does it in abundance, in superabundance. One of the strange things about nature is if you keep your mind focused on the positive side of life, it becomes greater than the negative side. Always does that. If you keep your mind on the positive side, it becomes greater than all of the negatives that may try to penetrate your mind and influence your life. Look around and you'll find examples, living examples all around you of people that want to emulate, that you want to emulate, and people you do not want to emulate. People that are failing, and you'll be able to tell why they are failing. From this time on, you'll be able to use this philosophy as a measuring stick, and whenever you find a success or failure, you'll be able to lay your finger on the right cause of it. And that's the end.
Nice reading, Glenn.
Excellent, Glenn.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We sort of lost Sandy. I don't know where.
Oh,
We did?
Do you see her?
no, I
No,
don't see.
she'll probably come
Okay.
back.
Yeah. Well, Glenn, what did you get out of that reading to keep the ball rolling?
Yeah, but yeah, you can moderate, Tracy. One of the things I got out of that reading that I always think of is be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? Be
Yeah.
yourself. Everyone else
For
is
me,
taken.
the weirdest...
Which means that you don't need to emulate